Hi, this is Tim at Volgistics with your tip of the week for December 4, 2023, and we're going to do something a little bit different this week. A common question for our support team is how to find the date a volunteer first served. In Volgistics, you probably know that on the core tab here, we keep a record of their date of last activity. That's their most recent service, but we don't have a field for automatically tracking the first date that they served. And so while we can't do that in Volgistics, I did find a way we can figure this out using Excel. The basic idea is to run a report that includes all service entries, sort them by date, and then remove duplicates based on volunteer numbers. In the end, you'll be left with just the earliest entry for each volunteer. There are really too many steps for me to try to type them all out, so I'm just going to do it here in the video. So feel free to pause and follow along if you want, but we're going to start with creating an Excel spreadsheet report. So I'm going to go into Reports, expand Excel Spreadsheet, and we will create a new Excel spreadsheet report. Here we're going to want to make sure that we include volunteer names and child records, so make sure this is checked. It's up to you if you want to include archived records. In this case, I'm going to include the archives, so I'll get this information for all of my records, even if they're not active anymore. Over on the Fields tab, I'm going to choose a name format here. But what we really want is down under the Service tab fields. So I'll scroll down a little bit here. And under Service, I'm going to check their from date. And that's really all that I need from the service records. So I'm not going to add a bunch of information here I don't need. Feel free to add some more if you'd like, but this is all I really want. So I'm going to go up and go over to the Include tab. I'll check these volunteers, and I'm going to leave this at all of the Any options. Under Service Range, I want to make sure we're including all service entries. Okay, and that's all I really need for the report. So I'm going to go over to Save. You can give this a more creative name. I'm just going to leave it at the default. We'll save and run. And then run now. So this will generate a new Excel file and put a link here in the mailbox. Okay, there's my report, so I'll click it to open it up. So with an Excel report, we separate different types of data onto different worksheets in the Excel file. So I've got this master worksheet that includes anything from the core and profile tabs, and then I have these other worksheets for service. So one thing you'll notice here first is I've got two service worksheets, and that's just because of the number of service entries is quite large, so it split those up into separate worksheets. So my next goal here is to combine those two worksheets. So I'm going to go to Service 1, and I'm going to use Control-A on my keyboard just to highlight everything that's on the page here. Then I'll use Control-X to cut that and go over to the first service worksheet. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom here. I like to use keyboard shortcuts a lot, so I'm going to push Control and down. That's going to take me down to the very last entry here. I'll move my selection down one row and then do Control-V to paste in what I cut from the other worksheet. Now it's up to you if you want to remove this extra row here. I like to, just because I like clean data. So what we have here now is one worksheet with all of the service entries for all of my volunteers. It doesn't include assignments or hours or anything, just the dates. So this is all the information I want right now. I'm going to go back up to the top here. And we need to sort this by date in order for this to work properly. So I'm going to use Control-A again to highlight all of my data. And then under Sort and Filter here, I'm going to sort A to Z. That'll sort it all by date. And now we can remove duplicates. We're going to remove duplicates based on this number. So that's on the Data tab of the ribbon. You'll see Remove Duplicates here. And we want to just use the number here as the criteria because each volunteer's number is unique. So I'll just check that and hit OK. And it tells me all the duplicates were found. 164 unique values. That's how many volunteers I had in the report, so that's good. So what I'm left with here is unique volunteers and the earliest date that they had service. So you can use these steps to find that data first activity for all of your volunteers. And I know this is kind of a long explanation, but I hope it's useful for you. If you have any trouble with this or any questions about Volgistics, please reach out to the support team and we'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.